Hey there, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hardcore Speedball Season 1 2021 Round 6. Thanks for joining us so early. I see there's plenty of chatter going on in the Facebook live stream. Tonight we've got 4 teams returning to the field, fighting for the right to move through to the semi-final. All of these teams have in fact been on the field already this season, so they already know what to expect in these rounds. But again, we're now down to the situation where each team will be playing each other once throughout the evening. There's only 6 rounds, so every game from here on out counts for that right to go through to the semi-final. Tonight we have the TGB Gorillas, Wreck-It Crew, Yakuza, and Valhalla's Allstars joining the field. And of course, thank you to our league sponsors for this season and for the live stream is GBA, Gel Blasters Australia, RPM Tech Shop, GBU, Tidy Toys, Vadios Clothing Company, and Strikeforce Mod Shop. Just checking out the comments here. Everyone, thanks for joining us. I see we've got Speedsoft Australia, we've got Aussie Dodo, we've got some guys from Speedqb, Europe as well. Really, really good to see the engagement, seeing all the chatter in there as well. Now you can see now the teams are starting to enter the field. And of course, in the yellow vest, we have the photographer for this season, Nathan Rosa Photography. So of course, if you are a part of any of these teams, or if you support these teams and you want to get some really nice photos, make sure you hit him up after the live stream and after everything's kind of wrapped up, and you'll be able to sort out some packages for your socials. Now, as we proceed, you'll see that we're just going through some opening chatter and a few pictures, but for the first match tonight, we'll be seeing Wreck-It Crew go up against Yakuza. Now, tonight, Yakuza's team is a little bit different to what we saw earlier in the season. A couple of players have changed around, so we'll see how they go for the evening. And again, of course, Yakuza did make it through all the way to the grand final last season, so it'll be good to see how they go this time around.
I'll just add on top of the briefing, this is the last round before the semis. Once we go into the semis, there'll be a couple of significant field changes. And then again,
now, just hear a bit of a chat down there from Toby, of course. So for those that don't know, this time around, once we do hit the semis, so that's next week, Wednesday night, 7 p.m., the semi-final, the field layout will in fact change. So even though the teams throughout this season have all gotten accustomed to this current layout, and there is some similarity to what was going on last season as well, what's happening in the next one, I suspect, or what I hear, is that the change-up is going to be pretty significant. So it'll be good to see how these teams perform in a completely new environment. Alright, again, so for the first match tonight, we'll be seeing Wreck-It Crew versus Yakuza. You'll see the other teams leaving the field, and we're now going through the coin toss. Alright, for the first match this evening for Wreck-It Crew and Yakuza, Wreck-It Crew is going to start on the left-hand side and Yakuza on the right. And again, each team will only see each other one time for one match throughout this round. Nice. Game's kicked off, and you'll see a nice deep push from Yakuza, already pushing into the snake in the castle. Very aggressive play for the first round. Of course, you'll see on the top side there, you'll see Mush on Yakuza pushing around. So that's our 14-year-old player on Yakuza, youngest player in the league. Fantastic, and you'll hear that from the head ref down there. Yakuza takes that game, swapping sides. So next game we'll have Yakuza on the left-hand side and Wreck-It Crew on the right in the green jerseys. Nice deep and aggressive push there from Wreck-It Crew this time around, pushing into Castle immediately. And looks like a red card is being called. We'll find out shortly who that was for. Looks like they're pointing down towards Yakuza's end. Hey Cooper, just seeing a question there in the comments. Is there an age limit for Speedy Boys or Speedball? At Hardcore Speedball, the lowest is 13, but it does differ from league to league, so that's just a matter of sorting that out. All right, and we have Wreck-It Crew on the left and Yakuza on the right. Oh, really deep push from both teams. Matching positions this time around. You'll see they've got the defensive line, the castle, and the snake all in the same positions from each team. Really nice aggressive push down the snake side from Yakuza. Looks like Yakuza players going pretty ham on the bottom there. And you hear from head ref Rowan down there. Yakuza takes the game and they take that match. So moving on to the next match, Yakuza walks away from that one with their first win for the evening. Moving into match 2, we'll see Yakuza return to the field and they'll be facing up against TGB Gorillas. Correction, Yakuza will be going up against Valhalla's Allstars. I read the wrong part on the chart. Alrighty, just while we wait for that, so there's a couple minutes break between these two matches. We'll put up an ad from one of the season sponsors.
The HSG V2G was designed with advice from some of the best techs in the industry. The prototyping, the manufacturing, it's all Australian, made right here in Queensland using world-class materials.
Alrighty, now I just received confirmation as well. So for that last match, game 2, where Yakuza was given a red card, they're actually given a red card for 2 instances of not shouldering their blaster. So that's what's led to that. But of course, obviously, they followed through on that third game and took the win for the match. Alright, again, so for match 2, we'll soon be seeing Yakuza return to the field. for their second match this evening. And Valhalla's Allstars will be entering the field for the first time tonight. You'll hear at the moment we've got some refs moving around, just clearing out the gels, making sure all of the players have an even playing ground for each time they enter the field. And just while we wait for those players to enter the field as well, just a reminder, Season 2 registration is now open. So there isn't much break between Season 1 and Season 2. If you either missed your slot last season or you're really keen just to jump back in, make sure you go onto the website. So that's hardcorespeedball.com.au and register for Season 2. There are not a lot of slots. There's only 12 slots, so only 12 teams can enter the league for each season. So make sure you get in early, sort your team out, so you can come in here and compete. I'll drop a link into the comments just so you can see where all that is. Hey Robert, yeah, just seeing your question there as well. Rifles need to be shouldered when firing. Absolutely. So there's no blind firing. Obviously, we don't even allow that in casual games. But we are very strict. The refs down there are all over it. The stock of the blaster must be in your shoulder. If it kind of comes away or it floats up above your shoulder or it floats on the outside, that can lead to getting a yellow card. And of course, the penalty system here is team wide. So for each game, you get one yellow card, and then the second penalty will be a red card if you happen to get it throughout that game, and then it just resets, for the next one. So we try to make sure penalties don't go across games and matches and that sort of stuff. We want teams to just be able to reset, retry, and refocus. AEST Clothing Company, thanks for joining the chat. So you'll see our referees down there in their lovely zebra patterns, really nice jerseys from our season sponsor, AEST Clothing Company. All right, fantastic. You can see our teams are on the field now. And looks like, I was just looking away for a second, looks like Yakuza is on the right-hand side, and we have Valhalla's All-Stars starting on the left-hand side. Nice deep plays from both teams again. Looks like teams are playing very similar positions to start off with this time around. Deep pushes into the snake and the castle. And Valhalla's has already lost a player up in that snake. And again, you'll see Mush down the bottom there, sitting in the castle. So again, that's a 14-year-old player. The dude is an absolute weapon and cuts shapes on these fields. Looks like there's a Valhalla's player playing sneaky inside that T. Not sure if he's just sitting there waiting for someone to come down to push. There you go. Looks like it paid off for that Valhalla's All-Star player in that tee. And he's just been swept by Mush. And Yakuza takes that game, first game for match 2. So now swapping sides, you'll see Yakuza move to the left-hand side and Valhalla's All-Stars moving to the right. Same positions again from both teams. Looks like most of the teams are going to probably keep doing this throughout the night. And just to answer a question in the chat, Corey's asked whether or not there's a time limit in each match. There absolutely is. So each game has a 3-minute time limit. So if that time limit expires, I believe it comes down to points. A lot of really good chatter going on the field here. You can hear all the players communicating positions that they know the enemy team is sitting in. Really aggressive play there from Valhalla to try and get Mush out, and looks like that paid off for him and possibly took a shot from another player on the field. Looks like it's down to these one player in each team. This is where it starts to get a little bit interesting as to who can outmaneuver the other person and who can sneak around. Again, of course, there is that 3-minute limit, so they can't sit around for too long. Looks like the Yakuza players won that rally. And you hear it there from head ref Rowan down in the center. Yakuza takes that game, swapping sides again. So now you'll see Yakuza return to the right-hand side and Valhalla's All-Stars will move to the left. Looks like Mush has been taken out pretty early in this match, so he's just lost his position in the snake. And Yakuza loses another player up front. And you'll hear Valhalla's players now starting to coordinate to make those final sweeps through. It's really important to coordinate that stuff so you don't get shot in the ribs, and everyone has to check their angles to make sure that someone doesn't get left behind. And you hear it straight there from head ref. So for this match, Yakuza takes the match, even though Valhalla won that last game. So that was 2 games to Yakuza and 1 to Valhalla. So that means Yakuza is now walking through this night. So far, their first 2 matches, they've actually won, which is a very, very good sign for them. And we'll see how the rest of the night plays out. Now in match 3, so the match coming up, we'll be seeing Valhalla's Allstars return to the field. This time they'll be going up against the TGB Gorillas. There'll be about a 5-minute break before they return to the field. So in the meantime, I'll roll another ad from one of our Season 1 sponsors.
Thanks to GBU and obviously Stig Industries as well for supplying all of the components that we need to have our kick-ass blasters. If you're looking for any parts for any kind of build, come down, give GBU a try. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Alrighty, so and of course that GBU ad, again, one of the season sponsors. The players there, I think, yeah, so in that ad we have one of the players that's out in the field tonight, and one of the other players was out there the last round that they showed up, which was, I think, round 4. Yeah, so a couple rounds ago. Fun fact for one of the next teams, so when TGB Gorillas enters the field, those guys have actually made quite the journey to come down tonight. So they first appeared, how many rounds ago? I'm just having a look here. So they were back here in round 3. It's about 3 weeks ago. And they've returned tonight because they made their way through. It's taken them about 2 hours to get down here, so it's quite a commitment, quite the effort to show up tonight. He's hoping they do really well and can keep moving through these rounds. Of course, just while we wait, how is everyone's night going? What team are you here to support? I've seen a lot of support for Record Crew showing up in the comments. It's awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for showing your support. Who else are you guys here for? Who do you want to see win tonight? Who do you want to see go through the semis? At the moment, for the next round, so next week, the semi-final, we have already confirmed that Hell's Gels and Damage Cartel B will be showing up. So the 2 winning teams from tonight will be moving through to that round next week. Who do you think would be a good matchup for those guys? I'm just watching the comments right now. There is a lot of support for Record Crew. It's really good to see you guys in here. Yeah, I got to agree with you, Cam. Just seeing a comment in there that for a newish team, Wreck-It sure do bring their A game. And it's really fun to watch them play. I completely agree. I've been blown away with their performance, to be honest. When I saw them show up earlier in the season, they're absolutely dominating on the field. It's really, really cool to see. All right, here we go. I was looking the other way, but looks like we're about to move into the first game for match 3. So again, we're seeing Valhalla's All-Stars up against the TGB Gorillas. You can see Valhalla's on the right in their blue jerseys. Looks like both teams have played a slightly more defensive position to start with here. Stopping just short of pushing all the way into the castle and the snake. TGB has already lost 1 or 2 players there on the left-hand side. Nice, a lot of really good coordination there from Valhalla's, following through with that sweep down both lanes and making sure there's no one left on the field before grabbing that flag. And you hear it from head ref Rowan. Valhalla's takes that game, now swapping sides. So you'll see Valhalla's starting the next game on the left-hand side. Good to see all these players fist bumping, shaking hands on the way through, ready for the next round. And TGB Gorillas on the right-hand side. Looks like both teams are playing from relatively safe positions and not risking exposing themselves too much here. Looks like it's going to be a close rally right here, sitting in the snake, and that's paid off for the All-Stars. Now pushing through at that final sweep again. Looks like all of their players are still up, which is a very good sign. It means they played very well for this particular game. And Valhalla's takes that game, swapping sides. So you'll see the Valhalla's All-Stars moving to the right, and the TGB Gorillas moving to the left. Gotta say, I'm really digging those orange pants on the TGB Gorilla. They stand out quite a bit. I like them. it's always good to see when teams still commit and play really hard. You know, in the final game for each match, even if one team is up by 2 points, you never know because it can come down to points at the end of the night. But both teams are still playing really, really well despite those odds. Really nice slide from one of the All-Stars there as well. And there you have it. Valhalla takes that game and takes the match. They won all 3 games for that match, so well done to those teams. Really tough competition tonight. We'll see how these teams continue to play for the remaining matches as well. Now again, there'll be a few minutes break just to make sure the teams actually have a decent enough rest before they return to the field and make sure everyone's got their gear together. So that's about 5 minutes. In match 4 for the evening, so the next match coming, we'll see Wreck-It Crew returning to the field, this time going up against TGB Gorillas. So TGB Gorillas will come straight off this match, rebomb, sort out their ammo, and then come straight back on in 5 minutes' time. Again, in the meantime, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Fantastic. Those pistols, if you haven't heard of them, by the way, are absolutely insane. I'm currently reviewing one. I've got one on my desk at home. If you're looking for a high-quality pistol, something that will blow your mind, you need to go and check that out. Hit up RPM Tech Shop and go and have a look if you want in their store. If you didn't know, the head ref down there at the moment is in fact Rowan from RPM Tech. Really good dude, and they have really, really good advice for any of your builds as well. Hey Trick, thanks for joining us in the chat. Good to see you watching. If you don't know, if you're watching along with him, Trick is in fact from Damage Cartel. So it's always good to see other players from other teams tuning in, seeing what's going on, and supporting the sport as well. Thanks for tuning in. We're just trying to get the ref and photography crew down there to do something entertaining for us on stream. They're a little bit shy. Unfortunately, they can't see your support in the comments, no matter how much you encourage them. Good to see even more love for Record Crew. It's actually crazy how many of you guys have tuned in to show some support for these guys. All right, here we go. 1 minute warning. Team should be entering the field in a moment. So again, we're now in match 4 of the evening. There are only 6 matches tonight, so we are past the halfway point. Entering the field now, we have Record Crew and TGB Gorillas duking it out, as always, for wins to try and get through to that semi-final. Alright, so TGB on the left-hand side and Record Crew on the right in those green and black and grey jerseys. Nice and balanced positions from Record there, taking up both Doritos, both pillars, and one in the middle tee. And then trying to make those moves through into Snake and Castle. Looks like they've already lost one of their players from that move. Ooh, and that might have been a stripped pinion on one of those blasters. Something sounded sketchy down there. And it looks like Record's playing it nice and cautiously, slowly whittling down the other team. And following through with that sweep to make sure the field is clear before grabbing the flag. Hey Kendo, thanks for joining the stream. And of course, Record take that game, swapping sides. So Record Crew will now start on the left-hand side again, easily seen in those green, white, grey, and black, and TGB Gorillas on the right. Really nice low push there from the TGB Gorillas up into the Snake. Really nice play. And you'll see that's actually paying off for him. He's able to take out those players sitting down on the Dorito. I'll get the pen out and show you that a bit later. Nice, and Record Crew pulling through after that sweep and taking that flag. And Wreck-It takes that game, so switching sides again. Wreck-It crew will now be starting on the right-hand side, and we'll have TGB Gorillas on the left. There's that same player from TGB pushing deep into that castle. He seems pretty sneaky, staying nice and low. Not sure if the other team knows he's there yet. And of course we have Wreck-It taking both positions on the Doritos and playing relatively defensively. Nice exchange of fire from the player sitting down in castle, taking out that Dorito. Let's see if these guys can work together to take it through to the win on this game. Fantastic. Finishing, sweeping the field. TGB Gorillas take the flag and hang it on the wall. Match, yeah. And TGB take that game with Wreck-It crew taking the match, so Wreck-It crew walk away with a win for match 4. So at the moment we are looking at Yakuza with 2 wins for the evening, Valhalla's with 1, and Wreck-It crew with 1. Match 5 will now see Wreck-It crew versus the Valhalla's Allstars, so we'll see who's going to walk away with an extra win from that match. So of course, as always, there'll be about a 5-minute break before that. One of the things I just mentioned before as well, just about that deep push into the snake, I will get up the pen. Alright, so one of the things I was trying to point out, that the TGB Gorillas, they had a really aggressive player and actually doing a really good job. Straight off the break, they were staying quite low and pushing into the snake. From that position, what it's actually letting him do is it's letting him get a line through this gap and into the guys sitting, or at least this guy, sitting in the Dorito. Once you start taking these positions out, it does allow your guys to push up, depending on how the other team responds as well. So the one thing, or the mistake that he made on the other side of it, let me just clear this. Playing on the other side, he came into the snake, into the castle sitting down here, and didn't actually see that one of the Wreck-It crew players had gone in to counter him. So he went into this spot here and was hiding on this wall. So as the TGB guy was kind of pushing across here, he was completely exposed and took a whole lot of rounds coming through here, and you would have seen him call his hit basically after he pushed through. And of course, just while we wait a couple minutes, we'll put up another ad from one of the stream sponsors for this season. All right, and of course, if you are looking for games, whether it's casual, looking for tournament games, or even looking for some news, make sure you do hit up our app. I'll drop a link in the comments if you haven't already seen it. We try to keep it up to date. It is the easiest way to find games around Australia. We have times, prices, limits, everything you need so that you can go and book a session and get out there. And of course, just in a minute or two, we'll see Wreck-It Crew and Valhalla's All-Stars return to the field for match 5. Again, trying to get those points to move through to the semi-final next week.
Wreck-It Crew, Valhalla's, 1 minute. Make your way onto the field. Captain, in the middle.
Alright, so Valhalla's All-Stars and Wreck-It Crew have entered the field. Just as a reminder, Valhalla's is in the blue and Wreck-It in the green. Looks like after the coin toss, Wreck-It Crew will be starting on the right-hand side and Valhalla's on the left. Now, currently, both teams are sitting on one win, or one match win for the evening.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice. Steep push from Valhalla's. Looks like it didn't pay off for the player sitting in castle. But one player did make it up to the snake and is hiding behind that first wedge. And of course, we have Wreck-It Crew playing a little more defensively. 2 players onto the Doritos, and 1 has been taken out so far. Nice move from the Wreck-It Crew player sitting on that pillar. Looks like he swept across without the All-Stars noticing him. I think the player at the right must have taken him out as he hit that pillar.
Left game! Live players in the middle! Except Sam. Valhalla takes that game! Switch sides!
Alright, and Valhalla's takes that game, swapping sides, so you'll now see Valhalla's All-Stars starting on the right-hand side. Nice fist bumps between the players. Always good to see that sportsmanship on the field. And we have Wreck-It Crew starting on the left.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Really loving his aggressive plays from Valhalla. It's really good to see them pushing in that hard. Bit of a mix-up here for Wreck-It Crew. Got 2 players sitting on the tee, 2 players sitting on, or 1 player sitting on each pillar. Really defensive play there. Obviously hoping to whittle down any of the aggressive plays. Sometimes that can pay off quite a bit. Ooh, looks like a player might have some glows down there. Really nice push there from Valhalla's sweeping through Snake, taking out those last players on that defensive line. And you'll see they've only managed, so they've managed to do that with a couple of players, which means they have a whole bunch of them still sitting in that defensive position if they needed to clean up anything afterwards. So really good plays, really good coordination from these guys. And Valhalla takes that game. Swapping sides, Valhalla will now start on the left-hand side and Wreck-It Crew on the right. Nice, both teams playing that aggressive position, one into each end, and all sitting on the same positions at the defensive line. Looks like the yellow card was pulled there as well. Unfortunately, looks like Wreck-It wasn't able to push through there and sweep the Valhalla's players. Couple left, taking the flag and down to the end. And Valhalla takes that match. So they've now walked away with another win for the night, which means Valhalla is sitting on 2 wins, 2 match wins for the evening. And Wreck-It still remains on 1. And of course, we'll be looking at another break for the players here now in match 6. So that was match 5. We're now moving into match 6 in a few minutes. That will be the final match for the evening. We'll see TGB Gorillas return to the field alongside Yakuza, and they'll be battling out for more wins for the evening. And of course, at the end of that, and at the end of this round, we'll find out who's going to be moving through to the semi-final to be fighting off against Hell's Gels and Damage Cartel B next week. In the meantime, let me just roll a quick ad from the season sponsors. Fantastic. And if you're in the chat there as well, you might have noticed we've got a viewer from the UK. Thanks, Robert, for tuning in. No idea what time it is over there, but really good to see that we've got some people internationally watching this as well. And just again as a reminder, the Season 2 for 2021 does kick off on the 7th of April. So there's very, very little downtime between this season and next season. If you're thinking about joining it, or if you've got a team ready to go, make sure you go and sign up as quickly as you can so that you don't lose a slot for next season. Time will be limited, and spaces are definitely limited. The teams competing at the moment, there is a monetary prize, it's $1,200 for the team, but they do also walk away with a trophy and get their name on the plaque. So last season we had Damage Cartel A managed to win the rights to have their name on that plaque, so they're proudly displayed here down at Hardcore Blasters on the wall.
TGB Yakuza 2 minutes.
Wow, so Roberts just said it's 9:56 a.m. Over in the UK at the moment. What better way to start the day? Let's be real, nearly 10 a.m. Good time to tune in and watch a bit of Speedball. Here we go, 1 minute warning, TGB and Yakuza re-entering the field. Final time for the night. So this will be the final match, final 3 games. Let's see who's going to move through the semi-final. Alrighty, first game of match 6. Yakuza starting on the right-hand side and TGB on the left. Again, easy to see the TGB guys because they've got to play with those bright orange pants. I really dig them, seriously. I might get some. Nice, deep, and aggressive plays from Yakuza, pushing straight into the snake and into the castle. You'll see Mush at the top there as well. He's a really, really good player down that side. Nice and small, nice and nimble. And they've already knocked out a couple of players from TGB. And that was an incredibly fast match. Yakuza has absolutely just wiped the floor in that match. That game. We'll get the final results in a moment and obviously swap side.
Yakuza takes that game! Switch sides!
Alright, Yakuza takes that game and swapping sides. You'll now see Yakuza starting on the left-hand side and TGB on the right-hand side. Again, Yakuza's taken out 3 players already. Nice deep sweep there from the player in the middle. Looks like that must be it based on the behavior there, taking that flag down to the end.
Yakuza
And Yakuza takes that game. Switching sides again. Yakuza now starting on the right-hand side and TGB on the left, which should be the final game for this evening.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, Mush obviously having a bit of fun there, just ran straight down the snake, followed by 2 more Yakuza players going for that sweep, and looks like maybe a 360 no-scope from the player down at the tee. That was insanely fast. It'd be good to see some POV footage of that game. And Yakuza takes that game and takes the match. You've heard it there from head ref Rowan. So Yakuza now has a 3rd win under their belt for the evening. We'll find out shortly which teams are going to be moving through to the semi-final. The teams will basically exit the field, sort out their gear, and return back on for the announcements. So just give us a couple of minutes, and I'll turn the sound up so you guys can hear those announcements. In the meantime, we'll just roll one last ad for you, but make sure you stay tuned in. Thanks. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. If you're looking for some really good games on a weekend, if you're looking for casual games, if you're looking for private sessions, if you're looking just to have a good time, whether you've played before or if it's the first time dipping your toes into Gel Ball and Gel Blasters, make sure you come down to Hardcore Blasters. So if you don't know, Hardcore Speedball is in fact hosted at Hardcore Blasters. So you currently see, of course, the Speedball field. There is an entire character field as well where you can run around, play CQB madness with all your mates. And of course, there are casual sessions as well for the Speedball rules. So make sure you go and hit hardcoreblasters.com.au and suss it all out. Now, if you hadn't spotted it in that ad, there is actually one of the Yakuza players. In fact, 2 of the Yakuza players. Ben with the blue goggles is running around down there, well, has been running around down there tonight with the pink bandana. And we have Lockie as well. All right, so just give us a couple more minutes and we'll get those announcements. Now, just while you are sitting there listening and waiting, as a reminder, the semi-final is on next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. or at 6:45 if you want to listen to some sick beats and hang out with the Hype Cat. But the teams will be duking it out, so 4 teams will be returning. So the 2 that will pass through tonight, and we'll find that out shortly, along with Hell's Gels and Damage Cartel B. So they'll be moving through to that semi-final. However, all the 2 teams that take out most points or most wins next week will then be moving through to the grand final as well. And of course, the field layout will be changing. So the teams playing next week will be seeing something completely new. So it doesn't matter how used to this field layout they are, we'll be seeing something new. And it could completely shake up, you know, what we expect to see in terms of performance from those guys as well. All right, guys, I'll just bump the audio a little bit for the field, and I'll shut up.
Folks, big presentation. Welcome to the end of round 6. Knockout comps are tough. Only 2 teams from tonight are going through. You probably already guessed who they are, but let's make it official. Yakuza, you're in. Stand up for us. Valhalla Speedballs, you're in. So the 2 teams that made them earn it, well done. Well played. TGB Gorillas. Next week's the semis. You guys are going up against Hells and Damage. Luck at that. Pretty good night, fellas. Great plays all round. I suppose you boys will get you to get to the honey.
Wow!
So let's call it. Cheers, fellas. I get a quick photo of everybody.
Red cards still.
Was there a red? Hey. No talking to the ref. Alright, here we go. Face up.
Red card.
3, 2, 1, good. Yep. What am I doing?
I'm like, I tried to do something as well.
We'll get a quick photo. Thanks, fellas. We'll get a quick photo of Valhalla's and Yakuza up in the X.
All right, fantastic. So you heard it there. Yakuza and Valhallas are moving through to the semi-final next week. So next week we have an amazing lineup. We're going to see Damage Cartel B. We're going to see Hell's Gels, Yakuza, and Valhalla's Allstars returning to the field and fighting for that right to move through to the grand final. I think there's going to be some really intense battles. The pressure is going to be huge. It's the same setup. So each team is going to see each other once throughout the night, and then based on the overall wins of each match, we're going to see who ends up moving through. So if you've enjoyed the stream, please make sure you tune in next week to watch that battle. And of course, thank you to the Season 1 sponsors. Again, GBA Gel Blasters Australia, RPM Tech Shop, GBU, Tidy Toys, Vadios Clothing Company, and Strikeforce Mod Shop. Now, if you're a team that's been knocked out, or even if you're still currently in the rounds and you're looking to sign up for next season, make sure you get that out of the way as soon as possible, because there is next to no downtime before we move into Season 2. So get that sorted immediately before you lose your spot, and before you lose your chance to compete and improve through the season. And again, I'm Trent Bowe from Soft Ops. Thank you as always for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week at 7 p.m.